All right, I think we're
You got
going.
it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, bro. So once again, you
All
recommended this movie. So you gotta lead. You gotta lead this episode.
right. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode. This week, we are going to be talking about the Shark Tales movie. They came out in 2004. But before we get into that review,
Shark Tale. Shark Tale,
oh,
actually. It's
Shark
not
Tale, my
plural.
bad, not Shark Tales, Shark Tale. But
Yeah. I actually
before
thought it was Tales as well. But then, yeah, I saw the title. Anyways, go ahead. Keep going.
before we get into that review, we have some catching up to do. What have you been watching this week? What is new in the household? What's new on the TV, bro?
Well, for any Smallville fans listening, I have pretty much dropped that show. I still pop in
What?
when my wife is watching because there are certain things like oh Metallo's in this episode or Zod is in this episode. I'll watch it, but I just feel like it just lost the soul. Like it used to have a soul and it has no soul anymore that it used to have because like in the beginning I was raving about how it had all this classic music and bro, literally some of the songs were exactly what uh Superman could be saying to Lana Lang. So like he's hiding his identity and the song in the background would be like I just want you to know who I am. I'm like,
Uh,
"Oh,
the
that literally fits so
classics.
perfect." Exactly. I'm like it would have music like that was also in the time period, but they're out of that. There's literally new like writers and everything. He's not in high school anymore. Lana, they wrote her character so badly. Like the writers hated her, and they just wanted everyone to just I don't know. It just lost the heart and soul of it, and I've kind of dropped it. It's still good because it's still Superman, but
Dude, you're
besides that,
surprised, bro. You've been talking about that show for weeks, bro. So it's actually kind of like jaw dropping that you even said that because every time we've been talking, bro, you're like, "Yeah, I'm watching Smallville, Smallville this, Smallville that."
yeah,
So for you to say that,
it's
bro,
because
it's a
they had
breakup.
some characters that I really liked. Like there's this character named Lana Lang who is always in all the comics and shows. She's always been like Superman's high school crush before he meets Lois, and in the
Whistling,
beginning she was yeah.
same
And
last name.
so in the beginning, before uh Lana was a very sweet, innocent girl who you really wanted to see Superman like end up with. Like they had like great chemistry, but because they ended up together in like season 3, Superman ends up needing to break it off, and then now since they kept her around, the only thing they could do with it was make it like a back and forth, like oh they're together again, oh they might get together again, but they break up again, but they get together one more time, but something else happens, and it just got so like tiring.
Yeah.
And because they kept doing that, they ruined like the character of Lana Lang. Like they make her end up getting with Lex Luthor. Like she becomes his fiance. Yeah, and
What?
so they basically only use her to like start dating other people. So after like season 3, she's only used to be like technically the damsel in distress, and it just everything went downhill for me. The show is still very good, but there's a lot of things where I'm like, no, like the characters I knew and loved, like everything's being ruined and going to shit. And so I wasn't watching as consistently as I used to. But have you seen the Superman Returns movie?
No, I have not. I I know
You
we're talking. I
haven't,
know.
never.
No, I've only seen the Superman with what's his name?
Henry
Henry
Cavill.
Henry Cavill. Yeah, I've only seen those.
Damn. So you've never even seen the original Christopher Reeves.
No, never. I'm a late bloomer
You should
to
start a
this stuff,
pod.
bro.
You should start a pod about this,
Yo,
bro.
we should actually start a pod about movies that we've never seen, and then we could talk about it.
Dude, that's a good idea.
Wait, hey, I've been recording this whole time, bro. We should just continue.
Me
Wait,
too.
what? Okay. Meta, bro, we're meta thinkers, bro. We just broke the fourth wall.
We
Hold up.
are. We did. Okay, but it's actually funny because Abraham was talking to me earlier that you haven't seen Shawshank Redemption. Bro, that's insane. Like even like that's the whole reason we started a podcast was because we both haven't seen a lot of movies, but till this day, like what 10 episodes in, I'm still shocked at some of the things you
Some of
haven't
the
seen.
movies that I haven't seen, bro.
Yeah.
Like you'll say movies, I'm just like they sound so familiar, but I just haven't seen them. Or like so many things. I'm like, dude, am I? And here's where I'm like contemplated. Am I just a bad movie watcher, or are you guys just over movie consumers? And I think you guys are just over movie consumers. And so,
Oh, you think we like consume too many
yeah, I think you
movies?
guys are the problem because I'm a normal viewer, bro. I watch a reasonable amount of movies, the ones that are coming out now, the relevant ones. Like, I
Okay, but even average moviegoers have seen Shawshank Redemption. That's like one of the greatest movies of all time.
greatest movie of all time. That's a crazy title for that.
I swear, for a lot of people, like if they had to pick only 10 movies to exist, that movie would make like 75% of the
I feel like I've
list.
never heard of that movie ever. So
That's a problem.
yeah, so there definitely is a lot of movies that I haven't seen. So tune in next week to see what movie we'll be talking
I
about.
know. Sometimes I feel like whoever's listening to this pod might not know like exactly how many movies you haven't seen. So I was thinking of just asking you a couple to give the viewers a kind of like,
Oh,
you
okay.
know. So
Just expose myself.
you've answered this one, huh?
Just expose myself on the pod right now.
Yeah, just
Okay.
expose yourself. So they know kind of like what's to
All
come. Like,
right.
oh, he actually, or they actually haven't seen. So
Okay.
have you seen, you already said you haven't seen the original Superman with Christopher Reeves.
Right.
Have you ever watched Michael Keaton's Batman from the 80s?
Uh, I I feel like I started one of them.
Okay, but you for sure haven't watched it from like start to finish.
No, because I know Arnold's in them in the series, right? Arnold.
No,
Oh, he's not
no.
in that one. Oh, okay,
He's
never
in.
mind.
Okay, so basically, Michael Keaton made two movies, and then they wanted to
Oh,
sell more toys or whatever. So he knew that the next two movies were not going to be good. So Arnold is in the next two movies that have like George Clooney. He's in the one with George
George
Clooney.
Clooney. Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot.
and then they switched to they switched to another guy. What was his name? Val Kilmer for Batman, and he's yeah. Those two movies people do not like them, but those are also my childhood movies, so I'd be down to have those for episodes.
I haven't seen those
Yeah.
Batmans. I've seen the ones with Christian Bale and I've seen the Ben
Okay.
Affleck one.
Okay. What about? I think you already answered this, but what about the original Karate Kid?
I have not seen the original Karate Kid.
That's crazy because like they announced that they're doing the original Karate Kid is gonna cross over with like the Jaden Smith Karate Kid.
I
So it would
saw
be
that.
perfect to make an episode.
Yeah, yeah, I went to the movies yesterday and I saw the ad for it. My sister's like a big Cobra Kai fan, so
Uh huh.
I would tune in to Cobra Kai episodes and like the Hispanic guy or I don't know, he was in the Cobra
I don't think
Kai.
he's Hispanic.
He's not Hispanic? The dark hair guy?
I don't. I don't think so. He looks
Oh,
Hispanic.
really?
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, is he the original Karate Kid?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So him, he's in
Yeah.
Cobra Kai. I knew him, so I saw him, and then I saw Jackie Chan. And I was like, wait, isn't Jackie Chan the one with Jaden Smith?
Yeah, yeah, he is.
Okay, so then I was like, okay, that's gonna be a crossover. I feel like I've seen the Jaden Smith one though, so I
Yeah,
know that one.
that one. A lot of people hated it, but when you watch it when you're like a teenager, it hits. Like it's not a bad movie when you're a teenager. But if you're an adult, who's already grew up with the '80s one, it's not gonna be the same.
What are some other ones? Give me two more.
What
Let's
else?
see if
Have you seen Shutter Island?
I have not seen Shutter Island.
You've never seen Shutter Island. Have you seen Shaun of the Dead?
Nope. Shaun of the no.
Okay, let's do a quick yes or no
All
because I
right.
literally have a movie shelf behind me.
Okay, let's see.
I'm gonna just list them off. Okay, Hot Fuzz.
No,
The other guys.
no,
Whiplash.
no,
Oh my gosh. Arrival.
no,
The Outsiders.
no,
Singing in the Rain.
no.
Ex Machina.
No.
What about Top Gun Maverick? That's a recent one.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Whoa. That one's like I understand if you haven't seen the classics, because not everyone watches old movies, but that was like a 10 out of 10 recent
I was like, well, I
recent
haven't seen the
release.
first one. How am I gonna watch the second one? If it's a critically acclaimed, I gotta watch the first one, and I just never got around to the first one.
This might be a hot take and a lot of people might hate me for this, but the first Top Gun is trash. I do not
It's
like it.
mid.
It's garbage. Yeah, very mid, extremely mid.
So not even don't even gotta
Anyways,
watch it before the second one.
I like legit. I could just tell you what happens, and the second one will still be a 10 out of 10. Like the first one almost doesn't even like it. There's context to like relationships and friends,
Yeah.
but if I just told you, it would have the same impact because the second movie's that good.
Okay, well, now we know. I've seen no movies ever, so that
Okay,
should be.
Terminator. You seen Terminator?
I have not seen Terminator.
Okay, for whoever's listening, you gotta realize this is exciting. So many new episodes we can do that we haven't even covered yet.
There's a lot, and I don't even know what's out there that I haven't seen. So it's like when I hear a title, I'm like, "What the hell is this movie? Like what?"
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
so
good though,
so
because it's better
imagine
to go in blind.
so then imagine my job when I'm trying to bring movies that Anthony hasn't seen. It's like, bro's seen every movie twice, so it's like it's impossible for me to come up with a new movie that he hasn't seen. So
There are, I wouldn't mind rewatching things that I can't tell you. Like, if I can't tell you what happens in the movie, but I have seen it, that still counts as technically
okay,
not seeing it. You know?
yeah, I feel you.
Like, we were talking about those Western movies, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, that trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell you what happens in those movies, but I've seen
You've
them.
seen them.
So we could definitely cover those in the future.
Well, was that so? As far as for what you're watching in the week, you gave up Smallville, and so right now,
Gave up Smallville, and I started Ozark.
oh, I've heard of that one. That's with that one guy, right? I don't know his name.
Yeah, Bateman. I think Patrick Bateman. I forgot his
No,
name.
not Patrick Bateman. Patrick Bateman's from American Psycho.
Is that a character?
American
Oh.
Psycho. Oh,
Oh my gosh, what's his
I
name?
don't know, but he's like,
He's a great
is he
actor.
like? It's kind of like a Breaking Bad type vibe.
Jason Bateman. And
Uh,
it is a Breaking Bad type vibe
yeah,
because it's about a guy who's basically doing some shit for the cartel and he's always
yeah.
in a sticky situation and it's like super anxiety inducing. Like I'm on the edge of my seat the whole episode. It's really good so far. I'm only 2 episodes in, but so far I love it.
Yeah, I've seen clips and people compared it to. Well, I think the part where I compared it to Breaking Bad was like regular guy works for cartel. I'm like, okay, that's Walter
Yeah,
White.
yeah. There's like 5 shows that give off like TV drama, solid 4 or 5 seasons that everyone loves, and it's
Yeah,
like Mad Men, Sopranos, Ozark, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad does go hard.
It does. Solid show.
Um, as far as what I'm watching in the week, because this is all about me, bro.
Go
Um,
ahead.
I've I finally got to catch up with all my shows, so I finally caught up with Invincible season three. Season three has
Oh,
been banging, bro. I
really?
know people hate on the animation, and it's reasonable.
That's what I was gonna ask you because we talked about that last time.
Yeah,
Like, do you think the animation is gonna be good or bad?
yeah.
What's your
It's
opinion?
not like horrible, but it's not like amazing. You could tell it's like pretty mid-budget, like nothing crazy is going on. I think the fight scenes are pretty cool. But when you have a
Is it
what?
is it just as good as season one
I
or
haven't
worse?
seen season one or two in like a year. It's hard for me to do a side-by-side comparison. But for me, it still
Yeah.
feels the same. It's not like a massive downgrade where I'm like, what am I watching? It's still like I'm watching my same
Yeah.
show. Um, but like when you have A-list celebrity voice actors, and I get maybe most of the budget's going to casting like what's his name, J.K. Simmons and the Walking Dead guy, and then the mom character. Like it takes up Seth Rogen, takes up the budget a little bit. Um, but I still think the show is amazing. I think some of the stuff they're doing, I'm like, what the hell, bro? Like, they have some bloody ass scenes. Like, they had this scene, spoilers for anybody, not really though, where this guy who can duplicate is trapped in a room. And he just keeps spamming duplicates of himself until the duplicates just start squeezing on each other and burst the wall. So like you can see the
Oh
duplicates
my
like crushing
gosh.
their heads into each other, and
Oh
it's like
my
it's like the shadow
gosh.
clone jutsu if you did it in a room, but like instead of poofing away, they actually like bleed, and it was so gruesome, but so like holy frick, bro, like that's disgusting, but like, oh, that's
Yeah, that sounds
badass.
brutal.
Like, yeah, it's like pretty cool. So they're doing some cool stuff. I think they're really expanding on like story, because so they're exploring like so many
Uh,
different stories. So like Mark, the main character, I'm like way more attached to him now because he's like on his arc right now of like becoming a superhero with all his powers, and then his little brother has superpowers. So he's like trying to balance, being responsible, but also like understanding where his brother comes from because he was in that same position just a few years ago. So it's pretty cool. I'm liking it. Severance. I just caught up on Severance. Season two has
oh,
been
nice.
season two has been a weird different vibe than from season one. Cause season one was like you're building up to this one moment and it's like it's all new, it's all everything. And then so season two is like the after effects of that. And so it's not like they're not really building up something, or at least not that I could tell so far, like something so crazy that you're like, oh, I can't wait for this to happen. It's more of like
Uh-huh.
they're on a journey to maybe figure out some of the stuff that they found out at the end of season one. But the climax of the end of season one was just so crazy that this season feels a little underwhelming. But I'm just glad to have my show back and watch and like develop it. So that's that's what I've been watching. And yesterday I just saw the movie Paddington. Um,
Oh, Paddington 3.
yeah, Paddington in Peru, Paddington 3. Have you seen any Paddington movies?
So I actually watched the first one because anyone who talks about Paddington, they say the first two movies are like unnecessarily good. Like they're
Really?
they're flawless movies. Yeah, people
Okay,
love the first
what?
two.
Okay, no way. I gotta
Like
rewatch this.
solid Rotten Tomato scores and everything.
I'm surprised because I saw this one and I was like, this is a movie for sure. This is a kids movie for sure. It like the build up was pretty cool. I feel like just the beginning part was so like fringe humor to me that um I was like, what am I watching? And it was like British, like they had British accents. I was like, just paying attention to their accents the whole time. And so it finally like builds up an actual plot and I'm like invested a bit. And I felt like the movie was pretty good, but still had some like weird concepts. The story, I guess, was cool. Like everyone who had a problem, the problem got resolved. So it was like the mom wanted more time with her family in the beginning. And then by the end of the movie, they're all together and she's happy. And the dad, in the beginning of the movie, he's like risk avert. But by the end of the movie, he's like, no, we have to take risks. And then the brother in the beginning of the movie, like they all have these like problems in the beginning where they set up the story. And then by the end, by some miracle, all of those problems kind of get resolved or whatever. So it was a cute
Mm,
family, movie of like things that happen in your family. But maybe I needed to see the one and two to really feel hooked because they made references to maybe certain characters. I was like, oh, I have no idea what's going on. But the animation was great, bro. And this is what I was gonna tell you. I went to go watch it, and you know how regular movie theaters, if you don't watch it in X theaters, you know sometimes those screens are bad, right? Like,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I went instead of going to AMC, I went to Cinemark, and I went to a regular movie theater, like regular and everything. But tell me why,
Uh-huh.
bro. The screen actually looked really good. Like
Really?
like the opening scene was so HD. I was like, whoa, am I what? I was just staring at like the
Why
animate.
is their standard so much better?
Yeah, like yes, because I would go to AMC watching a regular movie, and I'm like, this is the worst quality I've ever seen in my life, right? But here I'm watching it here, and it looks so crisp, so so clean. So it's kind of persuading me maybe to go check out some more movies at Cinemark and get rid of my AMC StubHub. But you can't beat out free movies, especially the Dolby ones. But
True.
still, that was a good. It was a good movie to watch. We were supposed to watch Captain America, and instead we watched this movie. Not saying I regret my decisions, but I will have to live with them for the rest of my life.
I haven't heard very positive things about either movies, if I'm being
Really.
honest.
That's why I wanted to watch the
Yeah,
Captain
for
America
some reason.
because I heard people talking crap about it, and I'm just like, let me see for myself. So we're probably gonna go watch it sometime
Yeah.
this week. But people hating because of the
Another
new
mid
actor.
Marvel movie. How surprising.
Oh my god, this Marvel hater over here
How surprising.
hasn't
Marvel did a
has
movie that is average. Whoa.
this dude hasn't seen a Marvel movie in years, bro. He judges based off the reviews. He doesn't even
I
know.
don't.
He's a hater. He's just blindly hating to follow the crowd, guys. Don't listen to him.
I'm not afraid to give props when they deserve it. So I can watch
Yeah,
it,
but
but
how can you give props if you've never seen it, bro? That doesn't even make sense.
I more mean like I won't go in determined to hate it. However, do you remember when I talked to you about the Guitar Hero uh meter?
Yes.
Yes, bro. I'm gonna explain it right now so you can make a clip of this. Clip this, okay?
Let's hear it. Let's hear the Guitar Hero meter.
Basically, no matter some people when they go into a movie, if you've ever played Guitar Hero, there's a Guitar Hero meter that starts right in the middle. So when you do good, you make it to green, and then if you do bad, you only go to the middle. But I like to apply that meter to watching movies, and I sincerely think people need to reassess their meter because if you go in to a movie and you got your gauge in the red before you're going in, even if the movie does really good, you're only going to get that gauge to the middle, and you're not going to give it the props it deserves.
Yeah.
So you got to remember to reassess your feelings towards the movie and try to put that gauge in the middle so that if the movie does good, it can be in the green, which it deserves to be if it does good. But if you go in already with a negative opinion, the movie will have to work twice as hard to get you in the green. And I don't think a lot of people realize that because then they're kind of like reluctant to give a movie its props whenever they're already shitting on it. So even if I do shit on a movie before, I always try to put my meter in the middle because I'm not afraid to give props to it if it's good.
That's a good meter to have because like I just this is why I don't like watching trailers. I don't really even watch reviews or listen to critic scores until I watch it because I don't want to taint that meter. I don't want to be pushed into the red going
Yeah,
in and yeah, you'll get good bonuses, but it'll barely bring you maybe to middle of the movie. Whereas if you started in the middle, those bonuses would have brought you like almost to the other side of green. So that's why it's kind of
exactly, bro.
yeah. I hear. I get the meter.
I'm 100%. I'm 100% with you on that. Like on not watching trailers, because when you go
Yeah.
into a movie knowing absolutely nothing, your meter has no
Yes.
choice but to be in the
Exactly.
middle, and it's like it just helps the experience.
Yeah. Like Paddington, I knew nothing about it. And I mean, I don't know if it helped or didn't help my meter, but it was just like you go in so blindly, you have no choice but to just take it all in, and it's like a just a fresh experience. It's just what I really
Yep.
like when you watch a film. You know nothing about it, and that's kind of like some of these movies. Like, yeah, maybe you'll hype it up a bit, like Train to Busan, the best movie ever created in the entire world, and it's like, okay, I guess this is the best movie ever. But for the most part, I don't know anything going in, and even your opinions. I know you have your opinions for your opinions, and I understand how you
Yeah.
kind of rate something. So I'm like, okay, let's see why Anthony maybe rates it this high. But for the most part, I'm going in blank. You know, blowout, going in blank. All these movies that we've talked about is like going in blank. So I think
Yeah,
if it,
which is a good perspective because
yeah. So speak.
people give points to nostalgia a lot of times, but
Uh,
you gotta be fair.
Speaking of nostalgia, let's get into what the people have been waiting for. The 2000.
Midtail.
All right, this dude is a hater. We're talking about the 2004 Shark Tale movie. And so this movie came out in 2004, directed by DreamWorks. I like to see it as the direct,
Not directed by DreamWorks.
produced, sorry, or
Okay, there
right,
we go.
produced. I don't even know who the director was. Um, Produced by DreamWorks. I like to think of it as the direct rival to the Nemo movie because Nemo came out in
I got
2003.
a I got a lot to say about that.
Okay,
Keep
glad.
going, keep going.
So this now is kind of an interesting, like, this movie kind of came out right after that, trying to see if they could set up something. This movie had a budget of $75 million. So I mean, back in the day, I think 75 was a pretty high budget, but it grossed 374 million. So it actually made its money back about five, six-fold. Doing pretty good.
Mm.
Um, Something that I didn't realize about this movie is how stacked the voice cast of this movie.
Unnecessarily stacked, like for
Bro,
no
bro,
reason.
this movie has a stacked voice cast with Will Smith, Jack Black, Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese, Angelina Jolie, and somebody that I don't know if you realize, his name is Ziggy Marley. Bob Marley's son was actually in this movie as well as one of the jellyfish. So,
I wasn't as excited to see that he was a voice actor as
what?
the other guy who played Bernie
Played
because
who?
I grew up with this who played the other jellyfish
Oh, okay. Who's that?
because I grew up with this movie called Cool Runnings, and if nobody's heard of that movie, you should go watch it. It's a fantastic movie that we're gonna watch or probably review on here. It's a classic '90s movie, but it's about Jamaica's first ever bobsled team. It's not accurate. It's not an accurate depiction
I've
of like what
seen that
happened. Is
movie.
very really,
Yeah, like bobsled. Isn't that like this? There's like a slide and they're like in a sled.
yeah.
I think,
It's like a '90s movie set in Jamaica.
okay, maybe. It sounds familiar. So he's in
Yeah,
that
when I heard
movie?
one of the jellyfish, I was like, is that Senka? Because in the movie they're like, Senka, you're dead, man, and he'll be
Oh.
like, no, man.
Yeah. No.
And I heard his voice and I was like, is that him? And I'm literally like, I checked the voice cast and I got so excited. I was like, my boy,
Nice.
Senka, let's go.
That's funny. But
I'm so glad to see him because I never really see any of those other actors in other movies. So
because the Bob Marley sons, they're singing his dad's song. Don't worry about a
about
thing,
a thing.
'cause every little thing. Bro,
About a thing.
that song. So for the people back home, this movie was a staple in my childhood. We had it on DVD, popped it in probably daily, watching it. I was that song, "Don't Worry About a Thing." Like when I listened to it, because I hadn't seen this movie in years, just flooded back so many memories of this movie. And so it was very refreshing to watch because I hadn't seen it in probably over 10 years. And just I would remember the scenes, but I don't really remember the characters, the plot, the story, any of these things. I could just remember like very iconic scenes, right? Like the shrimp scene or the every little thing gonna be all right. Like,
The
bro,
song.
yeah, so it was very fresh watching it, but again, watching it from my lens now as an adult, as someone who's trying to be a little more critical with their movie
It is
watching.
a kids movie though. That can be acknowledged. It is a kids movie.
So yeah, I understand it's a kids movie too, right? So I was having that lens. But bro, something I wrote down was like, bro, how is this a kids movie though? Because some of the stuff in here is not kid friendly, bro. Like
Really.
right off the
Like
rip, they
what?
just show like a gruesome shark death with like a big old anchor killing a shark, and he's just like
Oh yeah.
dead. And then immediately they're just dancing on this dead shark's body while his brother just watching him from afar, like, my brother is dead, like sad. They show some attempted murder from Sykes to kill the Will Smith character. He's like, all right, boys, take care of
Oh
him.
yeah.
Attempted murder They show the mafia in the whole movie talking about, all right, take care of him. We're gonna go kill these people, like go get the guy who killed my son. Like they have some dark themes in here where I was like, dude, as a kid, like was I following along to these things or did I just haha, that's funny. Like he got stung. So it was I get it, the kids movie and they had like a lot of kids stuff, which it's silly, goofy, but still, like, um, it was pretty refreshing to watch again as an adult, a movie that I, as a kid, loved. But I have a couple more facts before we get into the movie that I think you would appreciate. Um,
Okay.
this, the producer of the music for this movie was Hans Zimmer. So, y-
I saw that he was the composer. I'm like, what? How did they convince all these
Dude,
people?
no,
Like, it makes no
how
sense.
did they how did they get these people? Because he produced some iconic music, right? Like, well, you probably know more than I do.
Yeah,
I only know, I think, Interstellar. Did he do like most of Christopher Nolan movies?
pretty
Right?
much. Almost all of them. Like Inception. He did Man of Steel. He did Batman versus. No, that wasn't him. I think that was Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. But yeah, he's one of the most iconic composers in the industry.
Yeah. So
He did the Wonder Woman theme.
So the fact that they convinced him to get on this movie was pretty cool. But the reason he did want to
Yeah.
do it was because he wanted to be like in a kids movie, something a little family friendly. So I'm guessing
Yeah.
maybe they reached out. He's like, yeah, I'm down to do it. So it's pretty cool seeing like really acclaimed people maybe early on in their career, do some stuff that maybe they wouldn't do now. Because I bet, nowadays Hans Zimmer said to any kids movie, he's like, yeah, right, buddy. Like, next. So it's just kind of cool seeing them do stuff like this. Some some other facts. Martin Scorsese's ugh, voice crack. Martin Scorsese's this this was his first and only voice acting gig that he's
Role.
ever done in his life, which I thought was pretty
That's
cool.
insane.
Like Shark Tales is what he's gonna be
Yeah.
forever known as his only voice acting gig.
He just heard that there was gonna be a mafia. He's like, I'm
He's
in.
like,
I
yes,
don't care
I'm in.
who I'm playing. Mafia, Italian mafia. I'm in.
All right, think about The Godfather, but underwater. All right, I'm in.
Exactly.
uh,
Where do I sign?
so yeah, that and then even with the stacked cast, even with Hans Zimmerman being the composer, even with people like Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro in the cast, bro. This
It was
is
still
this is
trash.
still the lowest rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes for any DreamWorks movie ever created.
Really? I didn't know that. How shocked were you when you
I
read
I
that?
was shocked because when I was doing some research, this movie was in 2004 was the number 9 highest grossing film in 2004, right? So
Okay.
top 10 all movies made, and still, it's rated one of the worst movies ever. I was like, damn, was it really that bad? And I was reading some of the critiques, and I was like, I mean, I get why you're critiquing it. I don't know if it's like, I guess it is that deep, right? Like they were complaining like this is a kids movie. Oh, okay, so yeah, literally what I was saying. They were complaining like this is kids movie relying on like pop culture stuff, and they were like,
Yeah.
how are kids gonna understand this? This is not a kids movie. Like saying basically the same thing I was saying,
True.
and so I was like, I mean, I guess, but like the theme, like it's kids movie. I don't know. So it's rated one of the
That's kind of
worst.
true because if it's a kids movie, but then you make all the references towards like Italian mob
Yeah.
bosses and stuff like that, like adult stuff, then the
Yeah.
adults are gonna be the ones like talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, getting into it, you said you had some things to say about how it compares to Finding Nemo. What did you feel about how they made like another fish movie and kind of fish characters in a fish world, kind of like Finding Nemo did?
So my background is I never saw this movie. This is my
Yep.
first time watch for this for Shark Tale.
Yeah.
And so I don't have any. Is it good? Is it bad? I didn't go in thinking this movie was trash. I
Yeah.
honestly went in thinking this movie was going to be very funny because it's obviously everyone's seen it. Like it's not a bad movie that people forgot about. It was a very popular movie with some low critic scores. But the first thing I thought about that kept bothering me through this whole movie was I was like, bro, the animation and the
Yeah.
design of these characters is an act against God, bro. These characters are an abomination. Like every time they split their feet and started walking upright, I'm like, this is an abomination. This shouldn't exist.
Dude.
And they swim to get around, but then they'll just randomly start walking
Oh
upright.
my
I'm like,
god.
this is unsettling. I don't like this. Like finding Nemo because the number one thing with this movie was they kept trying to make fish but the human world. So like they're like, let's make the exact human world but just make everyone fish. And Finding Nemo, they're like, let's take the fish world and just show, like, make an economy out of it, like show how their world works but not completely turn it human. In this one there's car washes, mob bosses, fish are walking upright.
Yeah.
Fish have lips, bro. The main character has a hairline.
Oh no.
He has a hairline. He has an edge up. They all have lips and like straight teeth. Like it's just straight up an act against God. That's the only way I can put it.
Dude, that's so funny that you said that because when I was rewatching it, I was comparing it to Finding Nemo, and I was like, bro, why do these fishes have like human faces? And
Yeah,
like,
it's a little unsettling.
yeah, and the fun fact also, the animators actually did that on purpose. So they tried to make the fish people look like they're voice actors. So,
Wrong direction.
so
That's like Full Metal That's
oh
literally
my
like Full
God.
Metal Alchemist stuff where they're like, some alchemy and you come out with these like disfigured monsters.
Like
I did not like
the
the
Robert De
design.
Niro character, bro. Like that shark looked like Robert De Niro, bro. He had the mole and
Yeah.
everything. So
Yeah.
it was, and that's where I was like, okay, why do
Yeah.
these fish look so human? And so when I read that the designer actually did that on purpose, I was like, oh man, I don't know if that was a good direction to go.
Yeah. Yeah, to me it did not work because I'm just thinking like it's kind of like a gimmick, like what stopped them from just making this a real movie? Like
Yeah.
just cuz fish stuff was popular cuz finding or animation animals were popular like,
Yeah, all right.
you know.
I mean, yeah, and
I don't think that
also
worked.
the plot of like Finding Nemo versus this is like completely different. Like the plot of Nemo is
Yeah.
like it makes sense, like human world interacting with fish world, but this one's just like a fish world problem, which is like a made up problem, which is also like what is going on? And then you have like goofy characters that oh, it was so sad when I was paying attention to the animation. I was like, no, bro.
It was ruined for you a
yeah,
little bit.
I was like, bro, what is this? No way I was watching this every single day, bro. Like, what the
I
heck?
know.
So
That's crazy.
that's funny that you brought
Yeah.
that up because I definitely noticed that weird animation as well.
Yeah, but there were times where the movie was making me laugh. I think
Oh, really?
the one part that made me laugh the most was when those little shrimp started begging for their
Yeah,
life and
it's
the
bro, iconic.
like, no, please don't eat me. I was,
I just
I was dying laughing.
I just taking care of my nephew because my sister died and he has no
Yeah.
legs. Please don't eat me, sir.
That was actually cracking me up.
Yeah, that was funny, bro.
I have a family to take care of it.
And he's doing her best, but yeah, that scene is iconic in the Shark Tales, bro. Like, I love that scene. Those
That one
shrimp.
cracked me up.
Um, yeah,
One thing though that I did want to talk about was like I don't know if this is like a political take or something or if people were going to get triggered with me saying this, but hearing Will Smith's voice or seeing him in things after like I try to separate the art from the artist like cuz honestly like I don't think they have too much to do with each other, like if it's a movie talking about positive uh subjects and has a positive impact on those subjects it's talking about, that's good. Like I don't think you should let the artist ruin what that art stands for because they don't go hand in hand. But I just couldn't after Will Smith's whole Oscar debacle. I was actually affected watching this because when I hear his voice,
What?
I just hear this like egomaniac type of man talking, and I'm just like, dang, this is the first time that it's really affected because a lot of times when you hear debacles or like little controversies, you don't hear or see anything. You know, it's mainly like this person went to court. But with Will Smith, I saw him literally commit the act and like I
Yeah.
saw him be a different person. And I
Yeah.
think that's why it's more etched in my mind when I'm watching this because I'm like, I just hear, when I hear this man's voice in the movie, I hear the other guy at the Oscars yelling, keep your my wife's name. You know, I hear that voice. Like the
Yeah.
incident isn't
Yeah.
separated at all.
Yeah.
And, you know, I try not to or keep them together, but it was difficult for me during this movie. I kept hearing that guy at the Oscars talking.
Wait, so that Oscar incident actually affected you in a way that made you dislike Will Smith?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, just because, I mean, I don't know if we should get into this because it's like, it does kind of have to do with movies, but
Mhm.
in my mind, I'm just thinking, would he have done that if it was a bigger person? You know? So to me, it felt like even if he did speak ill about someone's wife, it just felt like a bully because when you do
Sure.
something when you know someone can't fight back and they're also smaller than you, it's like, come on, you can beat them up off camera or something like that.
Yeah.
And the fact that you did at the Oscars, it felt like a publicly
Yeah.
humiliating thing, you know, because I don't think anyone felt like his wife was publicly
Mhm.
humiliated
Oh
whenever
yeah.
he's dogging on everyone. But I mean, that's in the past, but it's still like it felt like I was watching that person in that moment in this movie. And that was like the first time I think that the I had trouble separating the art from the artist, you know. I wanted to and I tried, but it was harder.
Yeah, and like you were saying though, like you said you felt like you just heard that like egomaniac, whatever guy, like it didn't help
Yeah.
that in the movie he literally was playing that type of character. Like,
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, like he seems so like full of himself basically.
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, so
He was playing that a
you know,
little too well, you know. He's
a
doing a little
little
bit too
too
well.
natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was like at the height of what's his name's career, Will Smith though. Like
Uh huh.
he had just came off of Fresh Prince. In a couple more years he would shoot Hancock. He had finished I Robot at this point, so he was like pretty critically
He,
acclaimed at this point before
his
doing
like
this movie.
superstar status was coming out.
Yeah, so this movie is a staple in his career. I like to think. As anytime I think of Will Smith, I always think of Shark Tale. So, um, yeah. Is there any specific things about the movie you want to talk to? Because I have my gripes ready to go, but I didn't know
Really?
if there's any things. Oh, I guess something. Last thing, I like the attention. I know that they tried making like the real world underwater.
Uh
But
huh.
they had some funny scenes of like how the physics underwater works that I really liked. Like there's that scene with the octopus where he's trying to pour some coffee and it just like floats straight up, but then he still drinks it. Or like they're trying, that scene where the girl catches up to. She finds out that he's hiding the shark, and then he's like, "No, we're
Yeah.
gonna do this scene." And then they paint all the blood, and they just show how funny like blood won't stick to fish or paint,
Oh
and it just like
yeah.
floats up. And I'm like, the physics and attention to detail was pretty funny. Like, also in the beginning, did you notice that sushi scene where they have that fish? That fish he has a sushi shop, and it's just like,
Oh yeah. Nobody
yeah,
went over there
it's like a
to eat at a shop.
cannibalism confirmed. So,
Yeah. There's some. Speaking of dark things in here, bro. Blueface,
Blueface.
Lenny, bro. He committed blueface.
Oh, he did commit Blueface, bro. I forgot. I
He
think he got
thought
canceled.
exactly. He should have been canceled. He thinks painting himself blue makes him a dolphin. He doesn't know what dolphins go through on the daily, bro. That was so disrespectful.
Dude, I actually had a problem with that. I made a tweet and I said blue face or blue lives matter because he's just making fun of a whole entire culture. So I did not agree with that.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
glad.
I was this close to just turning it off right there, but I powered through.
I'm actually glad they didn't make a Shark Tale 2 because I don't think I could have handled another movie with that. Um, some similarities that I found in this movie, bro, that maybe you appreciate. Um, this movie is similar to Kaiju number 8.
Oh
Can
my
can
god, bro! You made that comparison for Godzilla. You're gonna make it. You said that in Godzilla. You're like, this
no,
reminds me of Kaiju. Does everything
okay,
remind you of Kaiju number eight?
okay, well maybe the theme does because it's all right. You got a basic guy, right? Just a normal
Okay.
lad, but he wants to become something grand. He wants to become big, and it's kind of hard. And by the grace of God, he gets lucky and becomes this super powerful being. Kaiju number 8 becomes the kaiju that Will Smith's character becomes the Shark Slayer, and so they become these bigger than life humans, and then they get put to the test, and they think they're all this, all that, and then maybe on their first instant they don't succeed. And then I kind of don't know how Kaiju number 8 ends, so that's as far as my comparison goes, but a little similar. Um,
I I
uh,
think you're reaching.
is that
I
is that
think
a
you're reaching a
stretch?
little. I think it's a
But
stretch.
if I would have known how Kaiju number 8 ended, maybe I could have brought it back home. But here's my real comparison. So you know how Angelina Jolie's a homewrecker?
Yeah.
So
Everyone's playing themselves in this movie.
exactly, bro. So Angelina Jolie ruined a beautiful thing that we could have had. We could have seen Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston together, happy, right? But
Yeah.
just like we could have seen Oscar and the other girl, I forgot her name, the Angie. Like we could have seen them together. They were having a thing. They were doing their own thing. They were happy, right? They were building something, just like Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. And then here comes the house wrecker,
The
Angel,
homewrecker.
the home wrecker, Angelina Jolie, right? Just like Lola comes in between the lovers and
Dang.
blinds the man into looking the other way. And Angelina Jolie, 2 for 2 on taking away a man from a happy relationship, takes away Oscar from his
Crazy.
girl Angie, takes away Brad Pitt from Jennifer Aniston. And at the end, what do? Divorce him in both movies and leave him on the dirt. And so confirmed Angelina Jolie plays a homewrecker in Shark
In
Tale.
Shark Tale. Yeah, these people
So
are playing their characters a little too well. A little too well.
those are some similarities I saw in this movie. Um, but yeah,
So you couldn't separate the art from the artist. You were like, I see it. I just see her
yeah.
wrecking
I was like,
another
I was
fish
like that
home.
bitch, bro. Oh my goodness. So, um,
Yeah, she's overrated. So anyone who's listening to this can come at me. Angelina Jolie is overrated, both in looks and acting.
oh, bro said fuck her.
Come at
She
me.
said her Maleficent was not good, bro. Have you seen that movie?
That's an okay movie, but yeah, she's okay in it. She's overrated though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know anything. I don't know any of her movies.
You're not gonna fight me on
Nah, I agree. Overrated.
that.
I,
Okay,
yeah, I
good.
don't, I don't know any of her movies, so I can't even. I know her in Beowulf. She was in the Beowulf movie.
Beowulf.
Yeah, we had to read that book in high school, so she was in it. Um, but yeah, I want to get into my gripes that maybe I overlooked as a kid. But before I get into my
Okay.
gripes, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. I think
No.
what I said earlier about the blue face is actually something that I thought was just stupid. Like, of course this is a kids movie, but I'm like, really? Like your kid like if he just puts on some paint and a scarf, like you can't tell that's your child. Like, come on, that was the most out of everything in this fish movie. That was the most unbelievable thing. Where I'm like, how do you not know that's your kid?
So
He didn't though. I think he just painted himself blue with a scarf.
that
Like he had the same face. Like there was nothing different.
you were immersed in that scene right there. It brought you out of the immersion.
No, like bro, if you walked in and you were painted a different color and you put on a scarf, I wouldn't be like, "Who are you? I'm Anthony. How are you doing?" Like I would be like, "What are you wearing, Julian? I know who you are."
His son is dead, bro. He's not gonna think his son's still alive.
Wouldn't that be more of like, "Oh my God, you look just like my child who passed away"? Like
He
that's
was
one of the
he was
things that I've been
across the
thinking about
table,
all
bro. He's kind
day.
of far. You can't get a good look on him, you know? Yeah,
Okay,
I got you,
okay.
bro. But yeah, I guess some gripes that I had that, looking at it from a different lens, that I was like, bro, how did I not notice this as a child? Or maybe I just didn't care because I was watching this movie to listen to uh Bob Marley's Don't Worry About a Thing or at the car wash, and that's all I cared about probably. So I didn't pay attention to any of the plot points. So some gripes that I have with this movie are in the beginning, he kills a shark and everyone just believes him is like the most BS plot line ever that I would have to disagree with because how is a tiny little fish, he's like a beta fish, gonna kill a shark? And
Yeah.
everyone's like, nah, he did it though. He did it. Like, trust.
Yeah.
He did that shit.
Nobody questioned
The,
it
they
whatsoever.
believe two high jellyfishes and we're like, yeah, they're telling the truth. Like, he's the shark slayer. Uh,
They believe the only two tweakers in the show then.
yes, they're telling the truth. So that was my one thing where I was like, okay, guys, y'all couldn't expand on it a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
and so I think another problem that I had with the whole movie in general is just the pacing. I think the pacing was like really fast. Like I think what happens in one scene compared to the other is like if so much time had passed. Like immediately after the shark, he kills the shark. He goes back to the car wash for some reason. Like I guess you tell the people at the car wash that. So he goes to the car wash to let
Mm-hmm.
everyone know he's a shark slayer. And then immediately, the guy that tried killing him the scene before, he's like, "All right, you want to be my manager though? Like, come on, yeah, I know you just tried to kill me, but you want to become my manager 50%, 50-50.
Yeah.
Come on, let's do it. You're a business guy." So that's the part where I was like, bro, are you serious? They wanted Martin Scorsese in this movie as much as possible, so they found a way for him to come back into the movie, and I was like, all right, that makes no sense.
Stay involved.
Yes, have a role, and so that happens right away, and then again in the next scene, he's already like a massive celebrity. He has billboards everywhere. Everyone's this, everyone's that, and it's just like who's spreading this propaganda that this dude's a shark slayer? And he has a penthouse, like he has everything in the next scene. I'm just like, no one, no questioning, no nothing. I was like, okay, kids movie, kids movie, kids movie. But still, bro, explain yourself a little bit. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So,
I honestly thought you would be defending this movie as much as you did the Mario movie. Like, what?
oh,
Trash take. I thought you were gonna be more
well,
like,
well,
don't
the
disrespect my
thing is, your
childhood.
Mario takes were trash takes, and that's where the difference comes in. Like, your takes here are reasonable, and like I
Okay.
could see the takes that you're having. So, like, I understand, and it was like just seeing it again as an adult is like different. Like I saw the Mario movie as an adult,
Yeah.
so this movie watching is like okay, it hit some nostalgia points, but now I'm paying attention to the plot, the characters, stuff. Like I thought the characters were pretty funny within themselves, but like all together, I was like, whatever. So that's kind of my gripes that I had um, with the movie. Not too many. Um, and something I've never realized in all my years of talking about this movie, the title is called Shark Tale because it's a tale about a shark. Like a lie about the shark. Like he's telling a tale about a shark. and slayed it. Yeah, I never thought of that. And then I think it was my sister or somebody said it's a tale about a shark. I was like, dude, you're right. It's a tale about a shark. It's a lie. It's a made up story. I was like, oh my goodness, that slaps. That slaps. And originally, this movie was supposed to be called Shark Slayer. Like that's what the movie was originally supposed to be called. Yeah, Shark
Really?
Slayer. But they were like, that's not family friendly. Like we're not gonna get kids to show up. So they switched the name,
Yeah,
and but they kept it in the movie, and they called him Shark Slayer. So um,
true.
yeah, I think.
Also, this is random, but Michael Imperioli was in the movie, and he's one of like the main cast of Sopranos.
Oh, really? Is
Yeah, they got an OG
he the
mafia
octopus
guy.
guy?
To It says Frankie. I don't know who
Oh,
Frankie
Frankie's
is.
the brother, the guy who dies.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of crazy. They got
Yeah,
him.
they had the whole entire freaking Godfather cast or whatever, and then freaking threw Jack
Yeah.
Black in the middle of all of them. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. No accent whatsoever. I think. I don't remember him having an accent.
No, he had like a weird accent, like
Yeah, like a weird dorky
yeah.
voice.
So I guess if that's everything, bro, are you ready to give your final thoughts, bro?
I
All
am,
right.
but it's kind of flip flops for me. Did you want to give your
Okay.
rating?
So my scale for this is gonna be how many sharks am I gonna slay for this movie to watch it?
Okay.
So call me the Shark Slayer, and how many sharks will I slay for this movie? This movie had so many nostalgia points to me. It was like a blast from the past. It was it was fun to rewatch it again because it just brought back so many childhood memories of watching this movie day in and day out, listening to At the Car Wash or Don't Worry About a
About
Thing.
a thing.
So they had so many points that were so cool, and they had so many funny actors. And I didn't, when I was younger, I never saw the mafia aspect of it, but obviously seeing it as an adult, like I could see that. Okay, they're referencing the mafia, they're referencing X, Y, and Z. So it was kind of funnier. I could understand a little more this time, but animation was really tough this time. I was like, oh, like how do
Yeah.
you make Nemo the previous year, and then there's a weird creation of Will Smith's face as a fish. Like it was rough, bro. So there,
Yeah, definitely an
there,
abomination.
yes. So there's definitely some highs and lows, and so I think even with my rating, it does get carried a little bit by my nostalgia points, which, ratings are supposed to be personal,
Okay.
but I'm gonna give it. So
Yeah,
the
I like
movie
the
Shark
disclaimer
Tale, I will
before.
slay 7.2 sharks for this movie.
That's a
Yeah, I'd
pretty
say
high
it's
score.
it's an average kids movie, right? It's just a movie you throw on. You
Yeah.
might have some good laughs. If you understand the references, they might hit a little bit. If you can get over the fact that the animation looks like Will Smith mushed with like a fish, and you see Robert De Niro as a shark. Like if you can get past that, the overall story is not the deepest one, and it's just a good time, good silly watch to throw on, and it's chill. It's
Yeah.
for what the time it was and what it was, and yeah, maybe my nostalgia points does bring it up, but I still think it's worth slaying seven sharks and point two of another shark. So 7.2.
And that means something because
Dude,
that's
I'm
an
slaying
endangered
that shark.
species,
I'm half
That
slaying
means
it.
something.
I'm gonna let him walk away, but I'm gonna slay point two of him. I'm slaying off that tail. He's gonna have to flap back home, bro, before this movie. So this ain't no joke. So I'm giving it.
Like,
This,
sorry,
yep.
this is for
Gi-
Shark Tale,
give
bro.
me,
I
give
have
me
to.
that shark tail. See what I did there? Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, I
Okay,
did.
bro. So hitting
Okay, how
questions,
many
bro.
sharks?
Hitting questions. How many sharks will you slay for this movie?
Well, at first, I'm thinking Will Smith, like, just because of the way it felt watching this movie, I was gonna give this movie like a 4 out of 10. But, but then I see you
Yeah.
got Martin Scorsese,
Yep,
Robert De
yep.
Niro, Jack Black. You got to to a bump it up to, like, let's say 6 out of 10. But then
Oh,
I
the
see Angelina
homewrecker.
Jolie.
No.
Back down. Homewrecker?
Movie
Hell no. Four
wrecker.
out of 10.
No. Oh,
Ziggy Marley, though?
don't
That gives it some
worry
points. That gives it
about a
up.
thing.
Don't worry.
Oh, okay,
6 out of
okay.
10.
Oh, but
But
then.
then, but then I see you put in. I see you. I see you put in Vincent
The
Pastor.
legend?
I'm just kidding. I have
Oh,
no
I
connection
thought
to
he
him.
was
I have no
the
connection to
bobsledder
him.
guy.
No, no, no. Dougie Doug and Renee Zellweger
It's
definitely give
nice.
us some
Okay, we're
points.
bumping it up. So where are we standing currently? Where are we standing at?
Okay, so it
Oh,
would be a 6 out of 10. Renee Zellweger and Dougie Doug bring it up
oh,
to an 8 out of
oh.
10.
Okay,
But
but
but the fact that everyone in this
it's
movie is an act
no.
against God and an abomination brings it back down to a 5 out of 10. Final
Five out
final
of ten
score 5 out
shark
of 10.
slayed for this movie.
Yep. I will definitely
Okay.
spare some
So
sharks
is this a
for this
movie you
movie.
would let your children watch? No
Nope, I'm never letting
way.
them watch this. They would be having nightmares.
No.
They would be having nightmares. Like, why are they walking upright, Daddy? This isn't right.
Oh my goodness, bro. No.
Yeah, no. I definitely show them Finding Nemo before I ever
Okay,
show them
that's
Shark
that's
Tale.
that's probably it's probably for the best, bro. We don't want them having nightmares.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a good watch, a good way to mix
Yeah.
up,
Yeah,
our
and
movies
you said in
for
the
the
last
pod.
episode that your mom didn't let you watch these movies for the simple.
Yeah, now I know
Oh,
why. I'm like, thank you,
she was trying to
Mom.
spare you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she didn't want
Yeah,
you to see
exactly.
Fish Smith
walking walking
breakdancing.
on both feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that was
Oh
our
man.
review for the 2004 Shark Tales. If you haven't gave it a watch, you heard our reviews from it, so it might be worth giving it a watch. Definitely something
Yep.
of what's it, pop culture that you should be, immersed in.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Definitely
they
relevant pop
have the
culture.
funny shrimp scene, and that makes a whole movie worth it. The funny shrimp scene.
Please watch the movie.
So, if you haven't seen it, you should definitely give it a watch. But yeah, that was this week's movie. Time for the big reveal of what we're gonna be watching next, though, and I believe Anthony has something ready to go for us.
Okay. Yeah, so since you were uh uh speaking blasphemous statements about
Ooh.
the
No,
Jim Carrey, you
don't
were
make me
talking
watch
shit.
Mid Carry,
You were talking
please.
shit,
I don't.
bro. No, so
No,
our next movie,
no.
we both haven't seen this. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
This is a classic Jim Carrey movie that really propelled him, like, more forward, like one of his, breakout roles. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna watch next because I haven't seen this one either, and I've been dying to see it, and I'm
I
excited.
guess, guys, you're gonna hear a review next week about Jim Carrey's teeth and how big they are, and his funny faces, and him shaking and having a spaz attack every 10 seconds. So,
Bro,
uh,
remember the meter. You gotta
dude, my
go in
meter's
with your meter
broken
in the
and stuck
middle.
in the red at the bottom. I just got booed. I just got booed off
Oh
the
my
stage, bro.
gosh.
That's how in the red I am, bro. So it's gonna be hard. But again, I will watch it and I will give my opinions.
Yeah, that'll be a good
Okay,
episode.
Ace Ventura: Pet Detective is gonna be next week's episode. I'm kind of hyped for that. Getting into some of it's good to enter the realm of the enemy. You understand how they think. You understand their motives.
Exactly. And I do think we do got to do some. You got to throw comedies in there. We can't just do dramas and horror movies and critically acclaimed. Like let's throw in some goofy comedies.
Yeah, I guess we'll see you guys in next week's episode.
Peace.
Peace.